Hey, I'm gonna read you guys a thing I've been working on called The Birds, and it's eventually going to be turned into a comic, but I wrote a new chapter today. It's an old project, but that I'm restarting now, so, well, reworking on it. So I'm gonna read it to you. Alright, drip, drip, drip. I woke with a start and was met with a disgusting smell and complete and utter darkness. I groaned. My head felt as though I was hit with the back end of a bloody knight's sword, which, now that I think of it, is probably close to what happened, considering I have no clue where I am. Zev, you in here? I asked into the darkness, still laying on the floor with my eyes closed. Someone shifted in the cell next to me and said in an overly grumpy, tired voice, "Still alive, Raven. And I hate to point this out, but your plan sucked. It'll be easy, you said. Steal the witch's stone, you said, and out in a flash. Your bloody Elvis tricks did nothing, and now we're living with the rats, and hopefully they don't send the beast to eat us. Thanks a lot for this, sis. Really, I'm grateful." He continued complaining, and I couldn't help it. I snorted, then laughed softly. Sitting up, the room swirled before going into focus. I looked around the room. No, not a room. A prison cell. It was completely dark, and if I was human like my brother, I wouldn't be able to see squat. Lucky me. The room was made of stone and wood. Mold was on the ceiling, and mildewy water dripped from the ceiling, too. In the corner was a bucket, which was the source of the smell, and there was no way in hell I was going near that. And littered around me were bones, human, rat, vampire, shifter, among other types. On the opposite side of the wall, directly in the center, there's a small opening in the stone with bars separating my cell from my brother's. Well, Zev, maybe your moaning and groaning will attract some guards, but I seriously doubt it. So if you don't mind, shush and let me think, I told him, getting a little aggravated and a nasty headache forming from the smell. I get headaches in places like this. Not that I frequently visit dungeons belonging to vampires. Oh crap, vampires. I scrambled to my feet and bolted across the room to the small space in the wall where I could see Zev. "Zev, we have a problem." He sighed loudly, and as he turned to face me, says, "Wait, let me guess. More bad news? What the hell is wrong with your eyes?" I moaned in pain he yelled as his yelled words reached my sensitive elf ears. He suddenly looked guilty and squinted his eyes and whispered, "Sorry, Raven, it's just that your eyes are like purple orbs, and considering there's no light in this place, it's very creepy because I can't see your face." Giving him a funny look, I told him, "It's alright, you have to remember that my ears are sensitive, though. So try not to scream in my face when you're less than 4 inches away from me, yeah?" He looked at me sheepishly and then asked, "Alright, what's the bad news?" "Well, besides the fact that we're in a dungeon, anyway, I think the knight guarding the witch was a vampire and he took us back to their nest," I told him in a slightly freaked out voice. That got Zev's attention, and he looked at me, his eyes going huge and round like a frightened animal, and I'd bet money that my expression matched his. "Oh crap, this is bad. This is really, really bad," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "What are we going to do? We can't fight a whole nest of vamps. I mean, come on, you have magic, but not the kind that allows you to go up against an army, and I don't even have my lucky dagger. I love that dagger." I looked at him and muttered, "Let me think. I'll get us out of this." I look around the cell and think what I could use to get us out. I need more light. Ignite. Ignite, I thought to myself, and a small fire flickers to life on my index finger. I move to the cell door and examine the keyhole. It's old and rusty. Slowly, so I don't make a sound, I trace my finger over the keyhole, heating up the metal till it melted slowly away, dripping to the floor. I smiled widely in triumph and pushed the cell door open and moved silently to Zeb's cell. When I get to Zeb's cell, I notice that the lock on his is different. Shockingly, I find that his lock is enchanted. Oh, now that's funny. Leave the elf with an old lock, rusting to nothing, and give the human with no magic of his own a spelled lock? I burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation. I mean, come on, he didn't look like a warlock. He had light brown hair with light green eyes. He had a slightly crooked nose from how many fights he's gotten in the past few years, a strong jaw and a long face. He's about 6 feet tall and can sass the daylights out of anyone. Well, except me.